ये sogar neta. Ja, sogar.
So, good afternoon. We will get started with this session. So please take your seats and get comfortable. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, honorable conveners, honorable ministers, deputy ministers that are here. Thank you so much for joining us in this session organized by the UN Food Systems Coordination Hub. One of the last sessions of the UNFSS +4, the last of the stakeholder-led sessions, called From Pathways to Implementation, National Conveners Leading Food Systems Transformation. I'm very happy to see so many of you here today, both conveners, partners from the coalitions, and others who are here to really put the focus on the national conveners. Over the past few days, we have been talking extensively about progress at country level. How are countries really able to move forward in implementing their national pathways? And what we really see at the heart of driving those efforts stand the national conveners. So this is a session dedicated to them and their efforts. My name is Lena Savelli. I'm the Deputy Director of the UN Food Systems Coordination Hub. I joined very recently, so some of you I have not had the honor of meeting before, but I look forward to strengthening the relationship today. I also have with me Khaled Tawal, who is the Senior Program Officer at the Hub, and will be joined later on also by our Director, Stefanos Fotiu. So, returning to the topic of the session, we've changed around a little bit the agenda. We'll have some introductory remarks coming later on. But what we want to do is really delve into the discussion immediately with a panel discussion where we spotlight conveners' experiences and leadership, showcasing how conveners drive national efforts in translating vision into action. The conveners have a really crucial role to play. They are tasked with one of the most complex challenges of our time, which is really transforming national food systems to deliver on the sustainable development goals. We know that this is not an easy task. They have to be creative, they have to work in partnerships across sectors, they have to encourage partners to come along, they have to mobilize resources and expertise. And in this session, we'll really be able to speak to conveners and listen to them, share their experiences on how they have managed to do so at the country level. These conveners have not only facilitated the implementation of national food systems pathways, but have really been instrumental in moving the needle on the SDGs in their countries. So over the next 75 minutes, I think a little bit less since we're starting late, we'll really be able to see how they have served as connectors between policy and practice, between vision and implementation, and between ambition and accountability. So I want to immediately introduce those that are here with us to be able to speak on the panel. I want to first say that from Latin America and the Caribbean, we welcome Mr. Marco Oviedo, Vice Minister of Development and Rural Innovation and the National Convener from Ecuador. Muy bienvenido, señor Viceministro. From Africa, we are joined by Ms. Armelle Siopatis, Director of Food Security and Nutrition at the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and she is the National Convener from the Central African Republic. Welcome. Representing Europe and Central Asia, we have Mr. Arman Hoyoyan, the Deputy Minister of Economy and the National Convener from Armenia. Warm welcome. From Asia and the Pacific, we are pleased to have Ms. Praya Sawechinda, Director of the Bureau of Foreign Agricultural Affairs at the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, representing the National Convener from Thailand. There you are. Thank you so much for joining us. And finally, representing the Arab region, we welcome Dr. Inaya Ezzedine, Chair of the Sustainable Development Authority and National Convener from Lebanon. A warm welcome. And Member of Parliament. Thank you so much. So we're very honored to have such a diverse and distinguished panel with us today to truly be able to share examples from across the world on what you have been doing as national conveners to advance food systems transformation in your countries. So we will begin with the guiding questions to the speakers. Starting with Mr. Oviedo, Señor Viceministro from Ecuador, could you please, in about 6 minutes, talk to us about the opportunities in challenging time? We know that transforming food systems is not easy. All countries are faced with different challenges, be it climate change, the debt burden, or even conflict. So I want to ask you, Vice Minister, in a complex and uncertain global context, where do conveners see momentum and opportunity for transformative change? And how can forward-looking narratives help shift from a focus on gaps to one that highlights innovation, leadership, and systems thinking? If you could please share with us the experience from Ecuador.
Eh, Buenas tardes con todos. Muchas gracias por la oportunidad de comentar un poco cuál es la visión del Ecuador. Quisiera también aprovechar para felicitar la organización que se ha venido desarrollando. Creo que ha sido muy oportuno para enriquecer lo que venimos haciendo como países. Ah, Primero, creo que sería importante reconocer que los problemas están interconectados. No vienen solos, no están solos, están interconectados y tienen elementos comunes, ya lo sabemos: cambio climático, accesos a los recursos limitados, etcétera. Desde el Ecuador, lo que estamos mirando es que la oportunidad yace en lo evidente, en lo que está ahí, que es básicamente reconocer que la agricultura que está en manos de los pequeños productores tiene un componente potente que podemos aprovechar. Tal vez para dar un contexto a lo que acabo de comentar, les quisiera compartir que el 58% de lo que tenemos en nuestras mesas de alimentos viene de las mesas de los pequeños productores del Ecuador, el 58%. Y que ahí tenemos desafíos, por ejemplo, con el tema de la edad. La mayoría, más del 50%, tienen arriba de 50 años. Otro elemento que seguramente es común es para otras regiones. Y también que la presencia de los jóvenes en la producción es limitada. Tenemos alrededor de 1,5 millones de jóvenes presentes en la ruralidad, pero yo diría que no llegamos ni al 50% que realmente están como activos en la producción. Entonces, con esto alguien podría pensar que es un gran problema. Nosotros creemos que es una oportunidad para, como en el combate del judo, para que la fuerza del oponente sea utilizada para hacer el cambio en esta posición. Y en este sentido, reconocer la importancia de la AFC ha sido uno de los drivers. AFC, la agricultura familiar campesina, ha sido uno de los drivers que permite aterrizar hacia realmente un cambio importante. Pero este cambio tiene que ir conectado primero a la visión general, a la visión que se resume en la política. La política tiene que realmente tener esta fuerza porque el liderazgo político hace la diferencia. Decimos en Ecuador, el querer es poder y se refleja en la política. Entonces, esta política viene con otros elementos que van conectando. Es necesario que los actores tomen su espacio para que entonces la política propuesta sea sostenible en el tiempo. Porque si imponemos una política, es decir, es vertical, entonces no vive el territorio. Entonces se va a caer, será una cuestión de un nuevo gobierno al frente de la administración pública. Entonces necesitamos que realmente el territorio sea el que se apropie, calibre la propuesta, la termine haciendo realmente aterrizada y es la que la sostenga a través del tiempo. Es ahí entonces una oportunidad. Otro elemento no menos importante es entonces hacer que la política permita que los jóvenes se involucren entonces en el hacer del campo. Y en ese sentido tenemos varios programas que intentan motivar para que los productores jóvenes realmente vean que el campo es la oportunidad. Yo no sé si les pasa en el territorio de ustedes, pero muchas veces nuestros campesinos, nosotros decimos, estudia para que no seas como yo, para que no seas un productor. Ah, estamos sacando a nuestros hijos del campo. Deberíamos reconsiderar esa propuesta y en ese sentido la política ah, de apoyo a jóvenes tiene que tener ese enfoque. Y así lo que estamos buscando es que la tecnología, que estos elementos que hacen atractiva a la producción agrícola realmente esté cercana a los jóvenes. Entonces, este es un elemento no menos importante. Y ahora quisiera terminar para decir que un tema también para nosotros muy importante es que reconozcamos el rol de la mujer en este manejo de la agricultura que tiene que ver con los objetivos que plantea la UNFSS, de sostenibilidad, de entendimiento al cambio climático. Las mujeres son un importante aliado para poder lograr que la propuesta aterriza en el hogar. Es importante porque ellas traducen lo que es la educación del hogar. Entonces ya no van a decir, estudia para que no seas un agricultor, una agricultora que tiene problemas en sus medios de vida, sino estudia agricultura para que tengas una oportunidad de vida. Con esto quisiera terminar para decirle que en lo concreto tenemos programas que han identificado entonces estas oportunidades y hemos estado invirtiendo fuertemente. Por ejemplo, en el tema de financiamiento a la mujer. Hemos colocado el año pasado alrededor de 25 millones de dólares en manos de mujeres que lo único que tenían que tener es claridad en lo que van a hacer o están haciendo. Es decir, que o prospera un negocio que tenían ellos ya en territorio o van a poner un nuevo negocio. 7.500 mujeres han sido beneficiadas con estos proyectos. Para darles, eso llamamos nosotros en Ecuador el crédito de la supermujer rural. Y ahora hemos querido cambiar al crédito violeta porque queremos ampliar también otros espacios de la economía. Creería que de esa forma nosotros estamos intentando enfrentar los desafíos que tenemos. Pero también esta es una oportunidad, entender qué es lo que están haciendo otras experiencias, entender cómo lo han logrado. Para nosotros es impactante cómo Brasil recupera su ah, estatus de estar fuera del mapa de hambre en apenas 2 años. Ahí hay algo para aprender. Entonces, estos espacios también es una oportunidad para enriquecernos en lo que tenemos que hacer, para enriquecer a la comunidad con los pequeños o grandes aportes que podríamos hacer para enfrentar estos desafíos que son comunes, que son planetarios. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Vice Minister, for sharing with us about the importance of political will to really transform food systems and overcome the challenges that all countries are facing in advancing on their national pathways. We will take a little break from the panel because we have been joined by our honorable speakers for the opening part. It's a great pleasure to welcome Ms. Amina Mohammed, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. Thank you for being with us, as well as the Honorable Minister of Agriculture of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, Mr. Khaled Hanaifat. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Minister. To our speakers, just to mention that this is a session that is focused on the role of national conveners who really play a critical role of leadership, of connecting partners, of mobilizing resources and stimulating action on food systems in their countries. Much of the progress you see at country level starts with the national conveners. So this is a session to really honor their work and learn from their experiences. So I want to first invite the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Ms. Manina Mohammed, to give some opening remarks to the group that's here. Thank you, DSG. Maybe the minister can speak before then we solve that. As we resolve the technical difficulties, we have the great honor of instead inviting the Honorable Minister of Agriculture of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, Mr. Khaled Knaifat, to give his remarks. Over to you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you. شكرا. سعادة السيدة أمينة نائبة الأمين العام للأمم المتحدة، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة السيدات والسادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يسرني أن أشارككم اليوم في هذه الجلسة الهامة التي تشكل محطة محورية في مسيرة العمل العالمي المشترك، حيث نلتقي بعد مرور 4 سنوات على انعقاد قمة الأمم المتحدة للنظم الغذائية في عام 2021. وباسم حكومة المملكة الأردنية الهاشمية أود أن أعرب عن خالص الشكر لمركز تنسيق نظم الغذاء ولجميع الشركاء والمنسقين والوطنيين على التزامهم المستمر ومبادرتهم الداعمة لدولهم في رحلتها نحو نظم غذائية أكثر عدالة وشمولا وموضوع. Translate now.
Ms. Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to join you today in this important session, which marks a pivotal milestone in the journey of our global collective action. As we meet 4 years after the United Nations Food System Summit held in 2021, on behalf of the government of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the Food System Coordination Hub, all partners and national conveners for their continued commitment and initiatives supporting countries in their journey towards their fairer, more inclusive and resilient food systems.
وأعتقد أن مصطلح الأمن الغذائي لم يعد مصطلحا ترفيا، خصوصا بعد التحولات الواضحة جدا في التغير المناخي وفي جائحة كورونا وفي الأزمات والحروب التي أثرت على الأمن الغذائي العالمي كالأزمة الروسية الأوكرانية.
Sorry, that wasn't in the... our meeting today is not merely an occasion for review or evaluation, but a direct call to renew our commitment and accelerate progress towards a just, inclusive, and sustainable transformation of our food systems. We stand before a shared opportunity and responsibility to reaffirm our collective vision and build food systems that are fair, inclusive, and sustainable, and resilient by strengthening coordination, sharing experiences, mobilizing resources, and harnessing the political will needed to ensure a better future to come. Today, food system holds special significance given the crisis affecting the world at large, and particularly our Arab region. Exasperated by ongoing conflict, millions face displaced, acute food insecurity, severe shortages of food and water.
من التحديات الكبيرة اللي تواجهنا حقيقة المفروض يكون ترجمة أفضل، يعني الترجمة تكون عملية مباشرة، لكن غلبنا المترجم معنا. التحديات الكبيرة اللي تواجه المنطقة سواء التغير المناخي سواء الأزمات السياسية كلها حقيقة تصب في إمكانيات كبيرة جدا يعاني منها المواطن في منطقتنا. مؤشر ذلك ما يحدث في غزة اليوم، في السودان، في اليمن، وبالتالي حقيقة لا بد من أن تقوم النظم الوطنية بدورها في إنشاء منظومة كاملة للأمن الغذائي.
Millions face displacement. There is also a challenge of climate change, acute food insecurity, and the weaponization of food supplies.
نجدد التزامنا احنا في الأردن بحوكمة وربط مؤسسي للنظم الغذائية، وآمل الحقيقة من خلال هذا الحدث نستفيد نحن كمنطقة أو كبلد يعاني من إشكاليات في المياه وفي سلاسل التزويد لتوجيه كل مواردنا لمنظومة آمنة غذائيا للمواطن. كل الشكر لكم جميعا. كنت أتمنى أن يكون التنظيم أفضل من خلال وجود ترجمة فوري، لكن أكتفي بهذا وشكرا لكم جميعا. Thank you very much.
Jordan renew their commitments toward governance of food systems, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, honorable ministers, for your words and for the strong leadership on transformation of food systems in your country, as well as the recognition of the role of national conveners. If our technical problems have now been resolved, I very much look forward to giving the floor to Ms. Amina Mohammed, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and Excellencies, I came in on both your speeches. Thank you so much for contributions to what is a very important session on the Convenor-led sessions for the second food system stock taking moment. It's a really, I appreciate greatly the opportunity to come together. But let me begin by saying we are missing a really special person here today, and I know you have spoken about him a lot, but David Navarro saw this group of people as the engine room for actualizing the transformations. And anytime I spoke to David, it was all about his co-conveners and how we were going to support you. And I take that, very seriously because the aim in Rome in 2021 was to make sure that the country level was empowered, but more than that, support your leadership. And today I know that we'll be hearing about the successes you've had, and through the last 3 days, how important your role is going to be in carrying us forward to the 2030 agenda. So to David and to your efforts, thank you for the work that you're doing. Your convener's role is playing a hugely pivotal role in ensuring that the national experiences that we have are reflected in regional and global ambitions. So when in Africa, when the African Union speaks, it should be that voice that is coming through from our national conveners in the 54 countries that we have in Africa. And I think that we are seeing that just being part of the CADEP side meeting, and clearly that supports what countries are looking for in Africa. You've emerged as a vital group for change makers and also for young people in countries, and this is with coordination across the sectors, with stakeholders, and ensuring that you're embedding food systems into national policies and development plans. The meeting today, of course, offers us an opportunity to reflect on that effort and to see where you feel you have made your greatest strides and gains, what's left to do, and how we can better offer the support as it is tailor-made, because there is no one country, talk less a region, that is the same as the other in their development journey. There's been an enormous sense of solidarity and a real sense that people are behind transformations going beyond just one sector. And we hope to keep that momentum going. We have, shared extraordinary achievements. We've seen that in the Action Day, but also your influence has been felt far and wide. And so thank you for following up on these. We would like to ensure that you are staying connected. Excuse me. Yeah. My apologies, between technology and a cold, it's not good today. But we're looking ahead, and there are 3 priority areas that we would like to focus on. Greater interaction between the conveners and other sectors, but also with the support of our UN country teams. The importance of placing more emphasis on opportunities to secure additional and innovative financing so that we bring pathways to life. It also includes engaging with business. The need to ensure that once commitments are made, that we are holding accountability for delivery. So continue to engage with us, and you have, of course, the full support of the UN, the country teams, but the hub, and to share these experiences across each other. Thank you very much, and welcome once again.
Thank you so much, Deputy Secretary General, for highlighting the role that national conveners have as change makers in their countries, the important function they play in taking the whole global agenda of the UNFSS forward. As I mentioned prior to the opening remarks, we are here in the convener-led session that is organized by the UN Food Systems Coordination Hub. We're very honored to have so many of you joining us today, conveners as well as coalition members, partners, and others who are here. I want to mention that we have now been joined at the podium as well by Stefanos Potillo, the director of the UN Food Systems Coordination Hub, and we will be now able to continue with our panel discussion. We had mentioned that we have conveners from across the globe joining us to share their experiences and be able to really explain how they have been able to do food systems transformation in the countries and overcome challenges. So we have conveners from Ecuador, from the Central African Republic, from Armenia, from Thailand, and from Lebanon. We already had the pleasure of listening to the Vice Minister of Ecuador share his experiences from his country. And we will now turn to the African region and listen to Ms. Armelle Siopatis, the Director of Food Security and Nutrition at the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and she is the national convener from the Central African Republic. So, Ms. Siopatis, we know that working on food systems transformation really is a multi-sectoral effort that brings together lots of different sectoral ministries. So we want to hear from you. What strategies have helped align agendas across agriculture, health, social protection, education, environment, finance, planning, and other sectors? What has been the experience in Central African Republic, and what coordination structures and incentives have been useful? You have the floor.
Merci, Madame la modératrice, de m'accorder la parole. Déjà, je suis très honorée de faire partie du panel et d'être entourée de toutes ces personnalités, ce qui montre l'intérêt et le rôle des coordonnateurs nationaux dans l'agenda de la transformation des systèmes alimentaires. Alors, déjà, la coordination nationale des systèmes alimentaires a été accordée au ministère de l'Agriculture et du Développement rural. Je pense que la difficulté commençait déjà là. C'est le coordonnateur national des systèmes alimentaires, c'est le directeur général de l'agriculture, et moi je suis la directrice de la sécurité alimentaire et de la nutrition, et je le seconde. Et donc, à partir de ce moment, je l'ai représenté lors du sommet bilan de 2023 et mon travail a commencé là. Je peux dire les actions que j'ai menées pour faire avancer l'agenda de la transformation des systèmes alimentaires se résument en 5 points. Le premier point, c'est la communication et la sensibilisation. Le deuxième point, c'est le plaidoyer. Le troisième point, c'est la gouvernance. Le quatrième point, c'est la mobilisation des ressources. Et le cinquième point, c'est l'appui technique. Donc, nous n'avons pas une coordination en tant que telle. Nous sommes 2 personnes, le directeur général et moi-même. Au retour du sommet bilan de 2023, où on a fait un atelier de restitution de ce sommet avec des recommandations. L'une des premières recommandations, c'était de mettre en place une coordination nationale sur les systèmes alimentaires. Nous avons élaboré un projet d'arrêté concernant la création de cette coordination nationale sur les systèmes alimentaires. Ça n'a pas abouti parce que faute de financement. N'empêche qu'on a continué à travailler avec les moyens qu'on avait, comme je vous l'ai dit, plus la communication et le plaidoyer. Le plaidoyer, il commence même au sein du département de l'agriculture. Il faut comprendre que le système alimentaire, c'est une approche qui n'est pas encore bien comprise au sein même du département. Il s'agit d'un changement de paradigme qui est difficile pour des institutions qui ont toujours travaillé en silo. Il faut un travail de pédagogie sur la durée et utiliser des termes simples avec des exemples concrets pour amener les gens à s'approprier de cette approche des systèmes alimentaires. Je vais donc vous donner des exemples d'actions qui ont été menées dans ce sens. Le plaidoyer et des recommandations tous les sommets auxquels je participe, toutes les conférences auxquelles je participe, je capitalise à mon retour. Par exemple, j'ai participé à la 52e session du Comité de sécurité alimentaire mondial à Rome et à mon retour, j'ai proposé que on intègre l'assimilation des recommandations et des directives volontaires du CSA en lien avec le droit à l'alimentation dans les missions de la coordination nationale sur les systèmes alimentaires, même si ce n'est pas encore opérationnel. Donc, ce qui paraît comme une faiblesse ou une difficulté, on l'a utilisé comme une opportunité, c'est-à-dire que ce retard de mise en œuvre de la coordination nationale, dès qu'il y a des nouvelles approches dont on est au courant, on les intègre au fur et à mesure, on enrichit le projet d'arrêté. Alors, j'ai participé également à la conférence pour un monde sans fin d'Addis Abeba et j'ai utilisé l'annonce par l'ancien président de la Commission de l'Union africaine dans mon rapport de mission, c'est-à-dire qu'il avait annoncé le sommet extraordinaire du 9 janvier 2025 à Kampala pour cadrer la transformation des systèmes alimentaires africains. Je saisis chaque occasion pour communiquer sur le système alimentaire pour que ça rentre dans les consciences. Ensuite, nous avons une alliance des parlementaires pour la sécurité alimentaire et la nutrition qui m'ont fait appel lors de leur atelier de planification pour leur parler de ce que c'est que le système alimentaire. Et donc, ce sont des occasions de plus pour faire de la communication, de la sensibilisation. Et lors de cet atelier, j'ai plaidoyé pour la mise en place d'une agence nationale de sécurité alimentaire et de nutrition. Ils se sont engagés à porter le projet de loi. Et là, au jour où je vous parle, la Banque mondiale s'est engagée à nous accompagner à la mise en place de cette agence nationale de sécurité alimentaire et de nutrition. Dans tous ces combats, nous avons aussi des appuis de nos partenaires sur place, comme l'ONG WHH qui nous a mis un consultant à disposition. Ce consultant nous a aidé à améliorer le projet d'arrêté portant création de la coordination nationale. Il nous a aidé à préparer l'atelier bilan des progrès réalisés et à actualiser la feuille de route. Nous avons également fait des démarches auprès du coordonnateur résident du système des Nations Unies pour solliciter les fonds ODD pour aider à mettre en place cette coordination nationale. Nous avons aussi soumis à nouveau, donc nous ne sommes pas découragés, nous avons soumis à nouveau au Premier ministre un projet d'arrêté amélioré portant création de la coordination nationale sur les systèmes alimentaires. Et cette fois-ci, les agences des Nations Unies sur place se sont engagées à nous accompagner. Alors, je saisis toujours toutes les occasions. C'est un exemple comme un autre. J'avais une stagiaire dans ma direction qui préparait un Master 2 en action humanitaire et j'ai pu l'amener à intégrer des points relatifs à la transformation des systèmes alimentaires dans son mémoire qu'elle a exposé lors de sa soutenance à l'université. Donc c'est un moyen pour moi de vulgariser la transformation des systèmes alimentaires. Alors, pour préparer la réunion régionale de Nairobi, nous avons pu organiser, grâce aux partenaires sur place, un atelier bilan qui était très inclusif. Nous avions plus de 100 participants de tous les profils et ce qui dénote d'un engouement parce que ce n'était pas le cas en 2023. Voilà. Et donc, maintenant, nous avons participé à la réunion de Nairobi. Et suite à la réunion de Nairobi, nous avons intégré des démarches comme l'initiative Convergence. Et en adhérant à cette initiative Convergence, nous avons démarré les travaux préparatoires avec David Nabarro. Et il est question que ce groupe de travail commence. Or, on l'avait déjà prévu dans la coordination nationale sur les systèmes alimentaires. C'est-à-dire que c'est une façon de commencer les activités, même si la coordination ne va pas travailler sur tous les aspects. Alors, un dernier aspect que je voulais aborder, c'est que de plus en plus, on me demande de contribuer au discours et au protocole d'interview du ministre de l'Agriculture. Et donc, c'est l'occasion pour moi d'introduire des aspects sur la transformation des systèmes alimentaires, notamment la République centrafricaine va organiser le caucus africain ce 30 juillet. Et donc, j'ai eu l'opportunité de contribuer aux réponses de ce protocole d'interview en intégrant des aspects de transformation des systèmes alimentaires. Donc, mes attentes par rapport à cette assise, c'est vraiment de recueillir des expériences des autres coordonnateurs qui ont des coordinations nationales qui sont déjà opérationnelles et comment ils ont pu démarrer les travaux, à quels défis ils ont été confrontés et comment ils se sont organisés pour vraiment démarrer cette coordination. Je vous remercie.
Thank you so much, Mitsiopatis, for sharing these examples of the Central African Republic, for highlighting also the work that you are doing as a national convener together with UN resident coordinators and UN country team as partners in advancing food systems transformation, for seizing every opportunity to really put food systems transformation on the agenda and for turning challenges into opportunities. Thank you so much. We will now turn to the Deputy Minister of Economy of Armenia, who is a national convener who has a vantage point of seeing planning and budget allocation across ministries. And we were chatting just before we came in about how that has really allowed him to drive food systems transformation forward in his country. So, Mr. Deputy Minister, we want to talk a little bit about policy and investment integration with you. How are countries translating food systems pathways into fully budgeted national strategies and programs? And what role can conveners play in making this happen? If you could please share with us the experience of Armenia.
Thank you very much, Honorable UN Deputy Secretary General, esteemed ministers, colleagues, partners. Thank you for this opportunity to present Armenia's progress in integrating food systems pathway into national policy and investment strategies. Following the initial food system summit, Armenia has taken very systemic steps to translate its food system transformation pathway into budgeted strategies and action plans closely aligned with national development priorities. We have developed the agricultural strategy, which defines 7 strategic priorities, and this is in line with the pathway we have developed, including also food security, improved nutrition, climate change, and modernization of agriculture. While saying modernization, I mean efficiency in agriculture sector. These are not theoretical aspirations. They are being translated into real programs with real budgets. And between 2021 to 2025, the government of Armenia has prioritized the establishment of intensive orchards, modernization of irrigation infrastructure, renewal of agricultural machinery, and adoption of digital technologies. We are also developing robust systems for animal registration to increase the traceability, planting material certification, and the creation of National Farm Registry. In 2023, according to the pathway, 2 key national strategies were adopted by the government of Armenia. One was the food security strategy, and the other one was food safety strategy. These 2 strategies were with the specific action plans, and they are not as standalone documents. They are integrated into across multiple ministries and budget lines, ensuring horizontal coherence between agriculture, trade, social protection, climate adaptation, and regional development efforts. Together, these frameworks guide more than a dozen state support programs, including subsidized credits and leasing, agriculture insurance, greenhouse development, and support for digital innovation. Public investment is consistently leveraged with our international partner support through strategic partners with UN organizations, EU, AFD, ADB, World Bank, and many others, extending the reach and resilience of our food systems. As a national convener and a deputy minister of economy in charge for agriculture sector, the role of the national convener in my country is very central in this process, ensuring that policy priorities reflect our national vision and are grounded in the realities of rural communities. This involves coordinating across ministries and donors, securing financial and technical assistance, and engaging a wide spectrum of stakeholders, from farmers and cooperatives to agribusinesses and development partners. Most importantly, the role requires flexibility and leadership to adopt policies in response to geopolitical shifts, climate impacts, or emerging challenges. Conveners serve not only as facilitators but as leaders of change, ensuring implementation remains responsive, inclusive, and resilient. Armenia's experience shows that food systems transformation is not a future ambition, it is happening now. It is visible in rehabilitated irrigation systems, new orchards, modern cold facilities, digitized agriculture services, and climate-resilient insurance schemes. Transformation in Armenia is no longer a vision, it is a tangible national process, grounded in coordinated action, targeted investment, and strong convener leadership. These efforts are already making a meaningful impact on rural livelihoods, climate adaptation, and national food sovereignty. In general, when I'm talking about all this progress, it's really to be proud of. The government of Armenia, starting from the pathway we adopted and synchronize it with the action plans and strategies that we have approved. The government of Armenia increased the budget in comparison to 2019-2020. This year, the previous years, we have increased the budget by 4 to 5 times. You may ask me whether this is enough or not. The answer is definitely not. Because we are all facing a lot of challenges, and sometimes we need to overcome these challenges by investing a lot. Investing a lot and in a specific time frame. When we are talking about the role of national conveners in my country is a little bit unique one, because a national convener is also in charge for the sector development. And it's very easy to knock the doors of the government to international partners to bring together the small and big players of the market and facilitate the dialogue. But I would like also to see that national conveners are really empowered in their countries enough in order to be able to create that level of trust within the government, within the stakeholders, and there is no other way than to communicate with the government and include the pathways, specific defined actions into the action plans of each government. In the meantime, I know that we are running out of time, but I would like also to say that I'm type of a person which doesn't have any idols in his life. However, I would like to give a special respect and thanks to David Navarro, because this is a person who motivated me some 4 or 5 years ago to be that much dedicated to the food systems, and especially in this food system transformation. So his spirit will be always with us. And having said this, I also would like to say that we remain committed to shared learning, innovation, and solidarity within the global food systems community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister, for sharing your experience from Armenia, from highlighting the importance of flexibility and leadership, for showing concrete examples of how your government is investing in food systems transformation, and also for the recognition of Sir David Navarro, a friend of all the national conveners in the room. We will continue with a panel discussion. We know that food systems transformation is not a linear effort. We will face challenges in our way. So we want to turn to Thailand now to talk with Ms. Praya Sawetinda, the Director of the Bureau for Foreign Agricultural Affairs at the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, to discuss a little bit about persistent barriers that national conveners may encounter in their work, be it data gaps, mandate fatigue, donor fragmentation, etc., and try to understand how national conveners can face these challenges and adapt to them? How do they also manage uncertainty and risk? So I turn the floor to you, Ms. Savitinda.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity for Thailand to participate in these sessions. In response to your questions, I would say that Thailand's journey towards full system transformation since the UNFSS 2021 has not been without challenges. One of the persistent barriers that requires immediate attention has been the complexity of coordinating across a wide range of sectors and actors. To address this, Thailand has institutionalized the role of the national convener, appointed at the level of Deputy Permanent Secretary, and embedded it within the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives. This is to ensure the continuity, legitimacy, and high-level political support. And under the leadership of the national convener, Thailand is able to resolve the risks of mandate fatigue and fragmentation of efforts. Thailand has adopted a multi-stakeholder and dialogue-based approach and conducted more than 10 national and subnational dialogues across sectors. These engage farmers, youth, academia, the private sector, and civil society too. The initiative helped to localize the UNFSS action tracks within the national narrative of IMREADY, which translating into welfare and well-being in English, making the policy of transformation accessible and actionable at all levels. Furthermore, data gaps and coordination silos are also presented the significant risk for us as well. To overcome this, the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, with the facilitation from the Office of Permanent Secretary together with the Office of Agricultural Economics and partners such as FAO, undertook a mapping of policies and SDG indicators and integrated food system objectives into the national strategies, which include the Food Security Plan, the Food Management Plan, the Agricultural Development Strategy, and the Climate Change Action Plan for agricultural sectors. Lastly, in managing donor fragmentation and financing uncertainty, Thailand leveraged a technical assistance program with FAO under the Technical Cooperation Program entitled National Pathway for Sustainable Agri-Food System, spanning a 5-year period from 2022 to 2026. This is to co-design a national pathway grounded in stakeholder inputs and policy coherence. This pathway comprises of 4 strategic pillars, which are integrated governance, inclusive economy and finance, science, innovation and technologies, and collective capacity building. As the Thai convener, we also established bridges with the UN country Dream Thailand and development partners to align technical cooperation with national priorities. Subsequently, broader range of partners from civil society, the private sector, and international agencies were mobilized and integrated into a nationwide network, adopting and implementing the derived national pathway that we receive from the program into the annual work plan, and to successfully driving the transformation. These are the challenges and the risks that the Thai convener has faced and have adapted to progress full system transformation in Thailand. And as the convener, we foresee that more challenges, especially in the practice level, will arise. However, we are optimistic that with the well-led foundation and strong partnership, the transformation will be ultimately achieved. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Savitinda, for talking about the importance of planning for all eventualities to be able to overcome challenges that national conveners and countries will face in their food systems transformation journey. and how they can work with partners from the ecosystem of support, be it UN agencies, civil society, academia, or others, to try to overcome these challenges. Ms. Savicina also highlighted the importance of taking on a multi-sectoral stakeholder dialogue approach, and this is something we're going to deepen our conversation on now, turning to Lebanon and to Dr. Inaya Esedin, the chair of the Sustainable Development Authority, parliamentarian and national convener from Lebanon. So, discussing the different partners that need to be around the table to truly make food systems transformation happen, can you share a bit with us about what tools and mechanisms have proven effective in sustaining inclusive and participatory dialogue? And how are national conveners really able to manage also power dynamics and truly ensure that the voices from marginalized groups and communities are heard? You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Let me start by what was supposed to be my conclusion. Despite the volatile and fragile environment we faced and we continue to face in Lebanon since 2019, we remain firmly committed to transforming Lebanon's food system through evidence-based policymaking, legal reform, inclusive dialogue, and bold community-led actions. This process is a testament to what is possible when leadership, science, and solidarity come together, especially in war-affected areas. Our work on food system did not start when I became the convener. Actually, as head of the Lebanon SDG Parliamentary Commission, and in response to the complex crisis we were going through, we recognized that food security and food system require urgent, coordinated, and systemic response to the country's overlapping crises, political, economic collapse, COVID-19, institutional paralysis, and worsening war. As national convener over the past 2 years, I have worked closely with a committed team, the Food System Hub, the government partners, and a wide network of national and international stakeholders to advance a non-fragmented, inclusive, and resilient transformation agenda. Our first milestone came after the 2023 stock-taking moment, and it was by the submission of our first national food system transformation pathway, along with a proposed bill on the right to food, the result of a comprehensive legislative mapping of Lebanon's food system, and it proposes a governance framework and a national legislative infrastructure to institutionalize the food system transformation pathway. The right to food is a law. A law is a foundational. It recognizes food as a human right and provides the legal framework necessary to regulate and secure food system outcomes and the pillars of the food security. It also supports a system-wide multi-sectoral governance model, moving us beyond fragmentation and silos. At the legislative level, we continue the advocacy to the right to food among all partners and in the media in order to make it pass in the parliament. And we are mobilizing political and public awareness. We are also looking into developing potential fiscal tools to incentivize healthier consumption. We are conducting secondary legal mapping aligned with the 5 tracks of the food system pathway, and we are initiating specialized reviews, including on pesticide regulation and antimicrobial resistance, in order to provide evidence-based material to face the shift, the power imbalance between the private sector and what is supposed to be healthy use of antibiotics affecting the environment, affecting human beings. And we succeeded. We were telling this many times, so I will not repeat myself here. We also sustained multi-stakeholder dialogue sessions, which evolved into becoming a platform for communication, alignment, and progress monitoring. These dialogues, which are usually held in the parliament, enabled us this year to validate the pathway KPIs. And during the war, it gave a map for coordinated responses to the war and clarify the roles and next steps for key actors across sectors for the post-war recovery. And in parallel, we launched several pilot food system initiatives. We initiated a science policy interface to regulate cholesterol use and reduce AMR. We launched an evidence-based campaign on the importance of breastfeeding and proposed a law to allow paid breastfeeding breaks for working mothers. And We are working on product labeling and infant milk composition standards, and also we are engaging the division of measurement and standards in the Ministry of Industry to revise all the standards for the food industry and imported products. Here it's very important for me to highlight the Israeli war in Lebanon and attacks that are ongoing in the region and that are creating cascading shocks across our food system, affecting everything from production to distribution and access. These disruptions require a complex adaptive system approach, one that is risk-informed, dynamic, and grounded in local realities. This is why, and in parallel, we launched pilot food system initiatives in a fragile context. In a city of Tir in the south of Lebanon, which is affected by war and it hosts thousands of displaced people, we, in collaboration with UN Women, we developed a food system, emergency scalable food system that is aligned with humanitarian development nexus. Initially, it was serving directly or indirectly 1,500 displaced persons, and because it was successful, it has been extended and funded by the South Korean, initially by the Austrian. Now it's serving like 6,000 individuals with dignity and localized resilience solutions. To assess progress and plan for post-war recovery, we are collaborating, or we collaborated already with ESCWA to apply its food system assessment tool, and the results will feed into and guide into an update to Lebanon food system transformation pathway with new emphasis on adaptive governance and post-crisis resilience. But much more is still needed. First, we require stronger political will across and coordination across all levels, from the executive, parliamentary, to the all the national stakeholders, international stakeholders. Donor investments have to be applied through a humanitarian development nexus and must be seen through a food system lens, which is not usually the case, and should be aligned with national priorities and governance structure. Second, public awareness and education are critical. This is why we have to go from the technical level to talk to communities, schools, and media. And third, we urgently need sustainable, targeted, innovative financing, which remains constrained by political instability and regional geopolitics. Also by global economic policies and politics, and what's happening in the region in Gaza is a witness to how politics and global politics and economy is can play a very devastating role. We are calling for flexible, long-term, and system-oriented funding partnership. In closing, I would like to say that Lebanon food system transformation is not a luxury. It is an imperative. It is not a project. It is a national and humanitarian responsibility. And despite every barrier, we are trying to move forward, driven by the belief that even in fragile contexts, transformation is not a possibility and is not only possible, but it is necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Esedin, for concluding the panel with such strong words. Food systems transformation is not a luxury, it is an imperative, and I think we can all agree on that around the table. Thank you also for sharing about the platform of partners where you dialogue, communicate, and also review progress on the implementation on the national plan, and for highlighting the interface with the scientific community, who are also important stakeholders in this journey. We have now concluded the panel with national conveners. I want to take the opportunity to thank you, because I will now be handing over to my dear colleague Khaled, who will continue to facilitate the next part of the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lena. And this brings us to the second part of this dialogue. And I would like to start by appreciating again the work of the national conveners, not only in steering food system transformation in a very complex process, but also in responding to many of the demands that we have asked you to provide in the last months as we prepare for the Food System Summit, through your national dialogues, through the participation in the regional meetings. Many of the important work that you have highlighted now, having inclusive governance structures, financing, converging policies, include the inclusion of youth, the inclusion of science and innovation, are all supported by the national system, but also supported by many of our partners, including the Netherlands, the EU, and Germany, who are here with us today. So in order to start this segment, I would like first to acknowledge the important support from the hub partners in supporting food system transformation. And I would like to give the floor to Ambassador Wimby Lebon, the Director of Inclusive Green Growth at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands. The Netherlands is a very strong supporter of the Hub Convergence Initiative. Over to you.
Yes, thank you, and also thanks for all the speakers prior to myself that shared all the lessons, because I think that's what's very useful. Also in the Netherlands, we can learn a lot from what is happening in other countries, and you see that that all the things that I mentioned, finance, stakeholder engagement, inclusive processes, and also STEMIA, continue doing the hard work. That's really key to the process. So I compliment all the conveners for their hard work. And just to say, in the Netherlands, we have 3 conveners. So we do for this food system approach from the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and of course the Ministry of Agriculture. So we really see it as a comprehensive work. And just to say that data is really important. For example, we have in the Netherlands, we realized that after data that we only have 6% of our farms are owned by women. And I hear other percentages here, far more better ones. So know that we are working on that, but just to show that we can learn a lot from each other. But that's why also we financed the Food Climate Convergence Initiative. I think that's a really truly important one. You see more and more that, of course, food and the climate space have to come together. And I think by supporting this initiative, it was possible to strengthen national capacity and also to provide technical assistance for in-country dialogues. And I think these in-country dialogues are very important, and they are now going on in 26 countries. And hopefully by COP30, there will be a lot of food climate action plans totally ready. And maybe because I have the floor, another initiative, not so much only related to food, but very important too, is the NDC partnership. I think also there countries can reach out. NDC, I think, is a really nice way of working together, learning lessons, and also bringing the total intelligence of us together to a higher level. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Lebon. And in fact, we are working not only with the Netherlands, but also with the NDC partnership. And this was very instrumental in executing the Convergence Initiative. Now it's my great honor to hand over to Dr. Andreas Schumacher, the head of Division for Food Security and Fisheries, the German Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation.
Thank you, Khaled, for giving Germany the floor. And I have to say that in Germany, we only have one convener. And it's based in the Ministry of Agriculture, and on behalf of the convener, Lisa Jeckering is also here in the room. And we have a kind of a separation between me and the Ministry of Development Cooperation and the Ministry of Agriculture. This is why I'm speaking here in this role as from a donor perspective. And I would like to highlight two aspects. The one is like the support which we are giving, and the second is, and I think this is even a more important one, is the joint effort on different levels. We'll just go a little bit into detail. So I will just start with the support. So we are supporting the hub with the Youth Leadership Program. We're supporting the SDG Fund with more than 40 million euros. We are supporting the coalitions and are part of the coalitions. We are in the Zero Hunger Coalition, in the Aquatic Blue Food Coalition, the School Meals Coalition, and the Agroecology Coalition. And we are supporting the national pathways and the national conveners on the ground, for example, in Cambodia, Zambia, and Malawi. And I would like to touch on this element. We worked together with the convener in Cambodia. We created a long-term process on the global level, which is called P4C, Partners for Change. And we would like to take all those achievements on the ground also to the global level through this project P4C and feed this into the post-SDG agenda. This is one of the aspects where we work together with conveners and to bring them also jointly on different levels and have an exchange about their views. And my second thing is we supported the youth leadership program at the UNFSS Hub. Some of you probably joined also this wonderful session. There's Musa, for example, there in the back. Are there other youth leaders here in the room? No, it's just you, Musa? Okay, Stefanas. Okay, great. No, but it was a real pleasure in the journey to do this, and I think we saw the youth declaration and with a great success, but also the exchange between the youth leaders, between each other was wonderful and created a lot of positive impacts. But I wanted for this session especially highlight is this great element that the young leaders had direct access to the national conveners. And this gave them a real opportunity to change the policies on the ground. And I think therefore this was a really great setup, and hopefully we can proceed with this young leader program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Andreas. And I agree with you, the inclusion of youth in the decision-making process, especially for food system transformation, was one of the game changers that led to more ambitious food system process. Now, we'd like to make use of the remaining very short time to open the floor for some interventions from the national conveners. So the floor is open, and I would like to maybe to give priority to national conveners who are participating at the minister level, if any now in the room. Okay, if not, the floor is open. Okay, Germany first, and then Algeria and Nepal.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor, and thank you very much, the Hub, for organizing this very important event, and also for the excellent work and support throughout. As my colleague Andrea Schaumeyer just mentioned, Germany is also very strongly supporting the process. However, I would like to use the opportunity now to just give maybe some ideas for the way forward, because it's the second day of the conference and we will need to see how we work now forward to the UNFSS +6. So on behalf of the National Convener of Germany, I would like to share some points. And I think the following aspects are, from our point of view, essential, and we would be very grateful if they could be considered in the outcome of UNFSS +4. First, we would appreciate a clear message of alignment of climate, food security, and agricultural agendas. Maybe for instance, the Rio Conventions on the global level, or on continental level, for instance, the EU Vision for Agriculture and Food, or on the African continent, the CAADP. We would further appreciate if the UNFSS process continues being inclusive, which from our point of view also means mainstreaming the right to food, which we very much are happy about, because I think in the last 2 days, the right to food was mentioned very, very often from a diverse group of leaders. At the same time, mentioning the right to food, we would also very much appreciate if all processes align also sort of with the CFS agenda. I think that's from our side. On a national level, of course, we've also been working hard. We have a national sustainability strategy in place, which was building on multi-stakeholder approaches. And this was, in fact, the process that helped us a lot in getting better on our agenda. So I think for us also the process has been very helpful. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, and you highlighted very important points: the conversion of the 3 Rio conventions, the linkage to CAADP, and also the right to food. It's my pleasure now to invite Algeria. Mr. Mohammed, over to you.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the Hub for its continuous support and constant accompaniment in our mission at the national level. I would like to quickly point out a problem that is actually affecting a lot of countries, which is the lack of long-term financing. Most investments focus on short-term solutions, weakening the resilience of food systems in these countries. Due to the urgent need to provide food more quickly, more funding are directed to cover immediate needs such as processing inputs or supporting a specific agricultural season. While what is required, for example, is the development of irrigation infrastructure. This shortage of long-term financing hinders strategic planning, reduces small farmers' adaptation of modern technologies, and limits their ability to meet future challenges. This is why I would like to suggest to my colleagues to work towards establishing sovereign or regional funds for sustainable food financing and work to improve the financial governance between the various concerned ministers and stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Algeria. First, I would like to give the floor to Nepal and then His Excellency the Minister of Uzbekistan.
Excellency, delegates and ladies and gentlemen, it is my good opportunity to speak few words in this convention about the food system transformation about the Nepal. So far, since the 2021 to till date, Nepal has moving ahead and has made significant progress in food transformations, food system transformation system in terms of institutional setup, legal framework, and strategic planning for implementation activities throughout the country. We have, in terms of the institutional setup, we have a very nice multi-sectoral representation steering committee. We are working in federal level, provincial level, and local level through this committee, and we are going to formulate the regional and local level steering committee also to implement these programs. We had Nepal constitution has given the right to food and sovereignty, a fundamental right of Nepali citizen. Based on the constitution, we have made a policy integration. In the Nepal National 16th five-year plan, Nepal has given priority for the food system transformation, recognizing agriculture as transformative potential and the integrated agriculture as a key pillar for national prosperity and development. Through the national budget speech, Nepal government has declared that 2024 and 2023 as agricultural investment to drive long-term growth and sustainability through the food system transformation. Well, we have developed the homegrown school meal framework with agricultural development strategy, 20 years strategy finalization with food system strategy plan. Recently, Nepal government has passed the food system strategy plan 2024 and 29. Currently, it is approved by the cabinet. So we have developed the national agroecological roadmap also. It is under completion. Maybe within this 2-3 months, we are going to complete it. In terms of the progress, we have done a lot of progress, and more than 106 projects are underway under this food system transformation and working very smoothly throughout the country. One of the most important project among the 106 is the homegrown food school midday meal for the school children. It is providing 300 it is providing 3.3 million students meals every day, and including 29,000 schools throughout the nation are benefited from this project. Recently, we introduced a project, Resilience High Value Agriculture Project. It is a very big project, and we are going to implement this project in three provinces of Nepal, including 160 municipality.
Thank you,
It's
Excellency.
a very big project, 5-year project, and supported by IFED and the government of Nepal. Uh, like that, we have the multi-sectoral nutrition plan. We have the 7-year multi-sectoral nutritional plan throughout the country, focus improving nutritional status of all people across the country, especially mother and children. It is a very big project. It is also 1.46 billion US dollar project.
Thank you,
And
Excellency. Thank you. We have. You can share with us the statement. We'll make sure that everyone has access to it. Thank you so much for the statement. I would like now to go to. We have remaining 3 speakers, and we need to conclude before 4:30 because we have the closing session. So, Your Excellency, Minister of Uzbekistan, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Excellencies. I know time very short, so I briefly inform you what's going on in Uzbekistan for the last couple of years. Actually, food system is very important for Uzbekistan too. We're working in the national level, also participating many international projects, including FIO's technical support projects and climate resilient agriculture projects internationally. In national level, I would like to inform you that Uzbekistan, for the first time last year, we adopted law, separate law for food security, where we can identify food balance, and this food balance is connected with agricultural production. So crop planning is connected with a food balance. Also, for winter time, autumn winter time, we have a state reserve program, and it's fully digitalized. All the players of agricultural food systems, they can see what's a state reserve for winter time, covering all our needs. So, we have a market-driven projects also. All the crop management, crop planning, connected with the food balance, as I said, also the international market demands. This is in the national level. In international level, of course, we're working with institutional strengthening and integrated food security monitoring. We do regular update through household surveys, agricultural stock monitoring, food composition, table development, and national nutrition assessments. We're working on actively on the food system-based dietary guidelines development with our neighbors, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. It's very important for addressing malnutrition. More important projects we have is FIO, Regional Agri-Food System Transformation Projects. Also, we're strengthening our national statistics analytical capacity. Dear colleagues, of course, many other things, but we will be actively involved in food systems to learn from you, from your experience, and eager to share our experience too. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Going very quickly to His Excellency Deputy Minister of Philippines, the Philippines.
Thank you very much. As we are all aware, food systems transformation does not exist in a vacuum. We know that food system is very much influenced by existing economic, climate, and even political realities, many of which are beyond the control of national conveners or nations. Due to the pervasiveness and strong influence of these factors, international cooperation efforts, I believe, should be an imperative. Perhaps during the next stock taking in 2028, we can devote some time to address these existing realities, which I believe presents an important challenges in addressing and making sure that national food systems work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Going very quickly to Bhutan and then Cameroon. Okay. Yes, Madam Grace, after Bhutan, please.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It is an honor to be part of this very important event. In the interest of time, I'll just highlight some of the activities that we have undertaken and also to seek support for the way forward. We have already institutionalized the agri-food system as in our policy planning process as well as in the strategy for the country. We are now transitioning from the planning to implementation with a strong focus on shifting from subsistence farming to the commercial-led, market-led farming system. Furthermore, the enhancing youth engagement and private sector participation has become a very, very important in the agri-food system of the national level in Bhutan. I wanted to highlight two specific activities which we will be undertaking with support of the hub, food system hub. We will be undertaking the stock taking of the national level pathway system and also agri-food system national consultation at the regional as well as at the central level. Very two important activities will be undertaken quite urgently. Furthermore, probably I just wanted to maybe share a proposal since we have our development partners here as well as all the national conveners. We think there should be a dedicated kind of a fund allocated from some of the funding windows like JEF, GCF for implementing some of the national pathways for the countries. Secondly, I also feel that the national conveners are the one who is driving the forces. I feel the hub should also try to look at a dedicated fund for the national conveners to do all the national processes within the countries, because the funding is one of the critical elements which is not really there for the country. And finally, I think one proposal that I would also like to flag here is maybe also have a quarterly or in a maybe once a year or twice a year national conveners session where we look at all the activities as well as the plans for the hub as well as for the country, so that we can look at for the common position that can be put forward for the global support. With this, I would like to thank once again for this opportunity and all the best to all the conveners, and we really look forward for meeting at the national level as well as at the bilateral level. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bhutan, also for highlighting the important financing. Going to Ms. Grace from Cameroon, please, National Convener Cameroon.
Thank you very much. I'm Grace Mbong, the Convenor for Food System for Cameroon. Before I say something, I want to first of all thank the Hub for facilitating collaboration between Global Flagship and SDG funds. In order for us in Cameroon to close the gap between the siloed functioning in administration, we came out with the convergence of agenda for the food system transformation, and after which we have developed developed the food system, the convergence blueprint, where we have brought ministries together so that we can work on a common project, and three priority projects were identified. We had the rice value chain, the agroecological transformation of staple food and livestock, and then the import substitution. And at the level of Cameroon, we have aligned food system to 7 coalitions, and where 5 ministries have been identified and focal points have been designated for these 7 coalitions, that we are now working together with the Ministerial Technical Working Group and the private sector and public sector for us to put information together. And we have also carried out some workshops with the UN agencies in Cameroon, looking at this convergence of agenda, and also looking at the science, policy, and societal interface, where at least we want to incorporate women and youth into our food system. So, so far, we, we're trying to review our food system pathway for Cameroon, where we want to align the Kampala Declaration, we want to align climate change, national adaptation plan, and then so that we incorporate the convergence of agenda that we preview for Cameroon to food system in the area of climate change, nutrition, biodiversity, etc. So now, after the reviewing of our national pathway, we have also developed some bankable projects so that we can move forward with our food system. And on this note, I also want to thank the hubs. I want to thank the UN agencies, even the German Corporation for the assistance they have been giving us to move Cameroon to the level in which we find ourselves in the convergence of agenda. So thank you very much. This is just an overview of Cameroon.
Thank you, Madam Grace. I know we have different speakers who are requesting the floor, but can you send us your statement and we'll include it in the session report. Unfortunately, we have to move, and I would like to give Stephanos the floor to conclude this session. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. But we all need to run to the closing session. Our host countries are there, our leaders are there. But I have my usual 3x3 closing. I never do a 4x4 closing before because 4x4 are very polluting, are destroying biodiversity, and they should not be something that we advertise. So my first point is what we have done with you the last 4 years. One is that you have managed, and really you have managed to bring together the UN system at the country level and the ecosystem of support and enhance local delivery. Everything we have done at the country level is because of the local ecosystem of support and the local UN agencies, and we never fly in consultants, we never bring people from outside. We try to enhance what is happening at the local level. The second thing is that we have acted as a firewall, I would say, to a lot of noise that it's coming to you, the conveners, from what I will call individual agendas. And you have helped us a lot, actually, to connect you with service providers of public goods. And here I want to recognize the role of a lot of coalitions have done on supporting your role. And third, we have responded in some of your needs for some innovation with the projects that already is described by our colleagues from Germany, from Netherlands, but also from the EU. I see the future, and usually the future, my second part of the 3 points is what are the risks that I'm seeing also. One is the big risk is the competitive development finance environment that we have right now, and when we need more funds, we don't know where it will come. The second risk, and I'm really very disappointed that I say this after 20 years in the UN system, is the defocus of the global governance in the issue of sustainable development. I'm so unhappy and sad that I'm listening, even sometimes from the parliaments, to say it's not time for sustainable development. It's embarrassing. And the third risk is the weakening of the multilateral system. But this weakening comes in with another thing, which is the appetite of some self-proclaimed saviors of the system to capitalize of the success of the system and take over platforms that the system created. So how I think we need to respond to this. One, I really want to link conveners with
the source of the financial flows. And for this, I think we need to take advantage of conveners that they are already sitting in ministries of finance, in ministries of development, in ministries of economy, without saying that the Ministry of Agriculture is not valuable. But you all know, if we don't convince the Minister of Finance, we cannot have change. The second, on the focus on SD, I think we need to renew the relevance of the food systems for well-being and poverty eradication. And I think we can do this. We have a lot of evidence. And the third, on how we save the system that the DSC and David Nabarro created, because the conveners were created by a letter that the DSC has sent to the governments. I know that this letter has been drafted by David Nabarro and was asking to appoint the conveners. So we want to elevate your role as conveners, both at the national level, but actually, most importantly, within global multilateral governance platforms. And that's what we try to do. I'm very proud that the last 4 years, we had at least 50 cases that we put national conveners in the COPs, in the UN General Assemblies, in the HLPF, and we will continue doing this. So we are one team, all of us, the conveners, the UN, and the ecosystem of support, and we will continue to provide everything we can do to do your work better. Thank you so much, and thank you for your trust.
How are you?
Recording stopped.
Sure. Yeah. Just now. I'm very sorry for the loss. My condolences. We hope to install this rest in this. And precious and good garden. Yeah. I thought it's yes.